campfire song? Could be. Mostly easy chords. And kind of a fun one to sing. Great tune, A Hard Day's Night. Now, this is not really the place to go into too much of the, to enter the argument about the first chord. The easiest way to play, well, no, the best way to play that chord so that it sounds pretty close to what they did on the album is to play a G7 suspended 4. Now, they really had the bass playing a D in there, and they had some other notes on the piano, mostly the same notes, but bar at the 3rd and 2 notes at the 5th fret on the 5th string and the 3rd string with your 3rd and 4th fingers. And everybody will know what song you're playing, okay? So again, it was a little more complex than that, but that's really beyond the scope of what you can do with one guitar. So, okay, enough on the opening chord mystery again. But the thing I like to have people learn with A Hard Day's Night, you only have to be able to change to, there's a few bar chords in it, that takes it again out of the range of a 1 or maybe even out of the range of a 2, because it's got a couple of them, but in terms of my level of difficulty scale. But so we do have to get to Fs, and we really, this is a good song to be playing the full barred Fs on. So if you're not quite, if your bar chords are not in crisp tip-top shape yet, don't really worry about it. Just play as close as you can. But this one can be just strummed with a really simple 4/4 pattern. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. And the only thing it has that deviates from that a little bit is there are a couple times when you have a chord for just a half a measure before it changes to the next chord. So when that's happening, you only have a chord for 2 beats. What's a good thing to do for that is just play the first 2 beats, and on the second 2 beats, when you have the new chord, the same first half of the strum. So if you have a chord for a whole measure, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. I'm playing G right there. But the real first measure of the song is 2 beats of G and 2 beats of C. So do the first half of the strum for both of them. Down, down, up on G, down, down, up on C. And there's one other spot coming up in the 3rd line of the verse where we have that same thing from G to C7. Now, you could just play a regular C chord there. The C7 is not important because actually the note that makes it C7 gets sung as part of the melody. So just a regular C chord would work there, but C7 is better. It makes it sound a little bit more like the song. So all you have to do for this is hit that G7 sus4 and then get into the song. The verse would be G, C, a half each, now a whole measure of G, whole measure of F, back to G for a whole measure. Second line's the same, G, C, G, F, and back to G. And kind of the punch line of the verse goes to C, D, and here would be our G to C7 change. That would be one verse. You run through 2 verses before you get into the chorus, the when I'm down part, and, I mean when I'm home, sorry, got the different Beatles tune in my head. So, and that section starts on B minor, so we got to get from that last G to B minor, E minor, do, 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 2 measures of B minor here, do, 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 D7 at the end really returns us much stronger back to the G that would be the beginning of the next verse instead of rather than just a regular D, because again a 7 chord in the 5th spot of the measure, the dominant spot, creates some tension that really has to resolve back to chord 1. So that's what we have in A Hard Day's Night. I'll run through the whole thing one time just so you can hear it without all the narration and stuff like that. So we got the big old G7 sus4. Sing it. Chorus. G, there you go. Everything you need to be able to do the campfire version of A Hard Day's Night. If you haven't checked out the movie, you should do that too. Great, a lot of fun to watch. They play all the songs from, well, there were like 8 songs, 7, depending on which version you see. One got cut. Another little piece of Beatle trivia. Ignore it. Just focus on strumming the chords. So that's it for A Hard Day's Night.